What's happening, YouTube? What's up? This is gonna be about Spike Lee saying that the one movie that he couldn't stand was Lilies of the Field. It was the Oscar winning movie for Sidney Poitier. He was the black worker who's with those nuns, and he sung "Amen." You know, he said you have to get to where you're going to know where you've been, and he looked at it as a film that Sidney had to pretty much toe the line. Um, it's one of those kind of films that it's hits in a certain era, a certain way, it's bound to make you feel uncomfortable. Um, and it was the way things were. Sidney had to be the one to bust that chain in Hollywood. He went through it. He was the only brother up there who was getting that kind of screen time on that platform. So he had to make movies where he would sing and he would do whatever, you know. Um and I get where Spike is coming from. I've watched A Man, but he sung and it made the nuns feel happy. You see some white nuns and everybody's like, "Ooh, kumbaya." It's obviously gonna be offensive to some folks, but that's how it is. That's how Hollywood is operated like that. You know. They weren't gonna let Sidney Poitier be their boss. So they put him in as a worker, and all his early movies he had to play that role. He uh there were roles that he had to play. He was front and center. People act like this was such a long time ago. It wasn't. We talking about the last 60 years. We ain't talking about a long time ago. It's a lot of roles that went on. And remember, it wasn't until it took another what 20 something years before another African American man won an award in Denzel Washington to match what Sidney Poitier did, because they weren't giving out awards to brothers. And Spike Lee was definitely a student of this, and he's fought with the system. They are very, slow, and they operate like they own everything. So, it's not a surprise. But him coming out and admitting, he held Sidney Poitier in high regard, but he can't stand the movie Lilies of the Field. And I get it. I get it. I get it. You know, it makes certain people feel all warm and fuzzy and cozy, but it's pretty demeaning. But I get it, though. I understand where Spike is coming from, and it's that's kind of how, unfortunately, the times we were in, where film and what people accept, and when they see black entertainment, especially on film, it wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't that long